Hey, look at all this cool stuff. Got it. Fort Meade Antique Tractor and Engine Show, Florida. Yeah, that's a good time. This is the stuff I got from day one. Dang cool. Well, howdy folks. Welcome to my show. I've been out and about finding old school gold. We went to the Flywheelers Flea Market and tractor, antique car, all kinds of things, gear show at a Fort Meade, Florida. Pretty cool. You ever get the chance and you can see it on my channel. I did a couple of days of videos of that, but I thought I'd show you the lures in a little more detail than just me rooting the room at the flea market. So let's get at it. Got a Arbogast. Oh, from Fred Arbogast. It's a deep diving crankbait. I got a couple more of these before during the winter, and out and about looking for stuff. And pretty good deal on some of this stuff. The one guy had a whole bunch of stuff, and he said, "Oh, make a pile." So I did, and he went through and he gave me a really good deal. So if you see any prices on some of these different things that I show you, well, always talk them down, and sometimes they don't charge you much. So there's Daredevil still in the package. I don't know how important that is, but looks kind of cool. Just got don't have a real treble hook on it. It has 2 hooks, and that was a couple bucks. Well, maybe even $1. Thinking about it. But these things are always cool. You see them. I should probably grab some glasses. Where's this guy going? There we go. Now we read the package. Alright. Perfect lure for trolling, casting, and spinning. Eppinger's famous Daredevil lures. Fishing's Deadly Dozen Award. Sportsman's Club of America Award. Dolphin Award. Can't fish for dolphins, can you? Gold Medal Award. Cool package. It looks like it. At some point it was $1.36. And yeah, it looks like I got it for $1. Cool. 2/5 of an ounce nickel. I don't know if I want to take that out of the package or not. I have to think about that. Package is a little beat up. It's neat to have old packages, and I got lots of Daredevils. Made in the US of A. And look at the grid. Look at that. Fisherman on there right over top of the lure. There's a fish. You just don't see stuff like that anymore. That's just so cool. Number 202. Whatever that means. Looks like a Daredevil imp. Can't see the back of it to read it. What we say on there does it. But there's the Arbogast again. In case you're like, hey, you yanked that out of the way. It's the Arbogaster. And pretty good shape. That's the original skirt, I think. That's hard to come by. But he's going fishing. He's a little beat. Not too bad. He's in really good shape, but a few scratches that he's not pristine. He's going out there and, wow, we can catch fish on that. This one is called a Palomine. Yeah, Palomine. You gotta have a friend. Let's see who made that. Fluger. Fluger made in the US of A. Palomine. Palomine. That's pretty cool. And that's wood. That's a wooden lure. And an old one, but boy, that's in good shape. Think about whether I'm going to fish that or not. I know you're saying, don't do it. Would be fun to catch a fish on it, wouldn't it? Palomine from Fluger. It's got a metal lip in it, and the metal's actually all the way up into here and down there. A little different, isn't it? Fluger. Been around a long time, Fluger. Good stuff. Palomine. It's like a shallow diver. Yeah, crankbait. You catch fish. Got it. Old hardware, two-piece hardware on the bottom there. Pretty neat. Pretty sweet. Can't get much old school than that. What else do we get? Bomber. Did good with bombers. You can see that on one of my shows, or two of my shows actually. And we're gonna do some more of it. And here's a perch one. These guys dive down and they'll float up. Dive down, float up. Now I also saw there was some different ones that were sinkers. So, and slow sinkers. But all the ones I've messed with so far are these floaters that down, and they work. I mean, you can see it on some of my shows. Check it out. One's got a bomber right on the thumbnail, and the other one's got 6 bombers on the thumbnail. Can't miss it. Go to the channel and go to playlists. And, there's check out these lures. The bomber works. This one's got a rattle. Some of them are just solid. This one's got a rattle. We'll see which ones work. Like anything, some days you'll want it to make noise, and some days you won't want a solid one. You just got to see the mood of the fish, and nobody's ever been explained to me how all the fish seem to get in the same mood at the same time. One of the mysteries of nature, but when you figure it out, you stick with it for a while till they change their mood. That's pretty cool. Birch color. Got that size. Yeah, look at that. 2 of them. One's a wee bit longer than the other one. Big one, smaller one. 2 different sizes of the same deal. Pretty cool. Now these come from the 1940s. A couple guys were trying to come up with something that they could fish with and dive down deep, but then it could float up over stuff and dive down deep, float up, dive down deep. And I tell you what, fish have not seen this very often. They may have never seen one. And that could work for you. Worked for me. And pretty dang cool. Pretty dang awesome. Definitely old school. Older than me. I know. It's not believable. But it is. This one. Now these guys can be underwater lure or a top water lure. This one's a top water. I stuck it in the water. It floats. And you can barely read it on the top. There is words on here. I don't know if you can see there's words on there. Tough to find, isn't it? Eyes are bad enough. It's a nippiditty. There's been some drinking involved in that. Nippiditty from South Bend. Wooden lure. Made of wood. Okay. That's old school. That's just the one-piece kind of hardware. That's the old deal. Hooks still seem pretty good on that. Nippy-ditty, boy, that's gonna make a racket the size of them propellers. That's gonna make some racket. But you gotta check it out, because I wouldn't have known until I stuck it in the water whether it was gonna be a underwater lure or a top water lure. You're thinking underwater, but yeah, a lot of lures back then, underwater lures, subsurface, look like this. I guess if you reeled them fast enough, they came up to the top. But this is a floater. I'm going to chuck it out there. Probably stop, start, probably chuck it out, leave it sit. Twitch it a couple times, then start buzzing along. Stop it, start it. Sometimes just buzzing along. Yeah, you always got to go on the mood of the fish, but never fish with a nippy-ditty. See, I'm laughing already. Nippy-ditty. South Bend. Good company. Here, you're gonna have to help me with this one. Now this looks like it might be from like the 90s, maybe the 80s. Look at the pattern on the back of that. But on the side, looks like fish, like sunfish. Top of it kind of looks like a crawdad. Don't it? And from what I can see, you can hook it up this way. Well, you got your shallow runner. Look like a crawdad if it's coming at him. Sideways, it's still gonna look like a fish going backwards. Luckily, fish ain't all that bright. Other way, hook it up, deep diver. This is gonna be cool to fish this thing. Of course, unless you guys. Oh yeah, we know what that is. It's worth a fortune. Don't really think so. It's probably from the 90s. It kind of looks like something from Ranowski, but I couldn't find it. I looked and looked. Books and eBay and all that. I couldn't find this thing. Kind of looks like something Ranowski would do with some Bass Pro. And who knows, Guido Hibden or something. I got some wacko ones from Guido. Am I right? Wrong? Do you know what that is? Dang cool is what it is. But yeah, the guy almost didn't want to sell me that. He's like, oh, that might be worth a fortune. I said, oh no, it kind of looks like it's from the 90s or late 80s or something. Let's go. Go two ways. This way, well, down deep that way. Kind of like a daily double. More modern version. Pretty cool. Can't wait to fish it. Pretty dang sweet. But like I said, if you know, please let me know. I don't know, and it's hard to look something up if you ain't got a clue. There is nothing on the lip. There is nothing on this bait that says where it's from, where it was made, who made it. Nothing. But I had to have it. And he gave me a good deal on it, even though he was reluctant to sell it. But he's got it out here. And he's the one that showed it to me. I didn't even pick up on it. That's cool. So, of course, you gotta get a jitterbug. But, a little different, isn't it? Just these hooks here. And it looks like it has a skirt, which is long gone. Kind of like the Arbigaster. That kind of skirt. Let's see if I can find some. But that would go over the pads, over the weeds, not get hung up. Sticks. And hooks are still sharp. They're a little bit rusty, but still sharp. We can give it a whirl. Got a special name for this thing? Jitterbug. Fred Arbigas, Akron, Ohio, patent. Well, actually patented. Not that that's important, but let them just say patent pending. But pretty cool. Be able to use that. My favorite little local lake's all weedy. This guy, a little more modern. It looks like a storm lure. I really like the colors. I do well with this color. If you watched my shows, I do well with this color. Now that's a deep diver, plastic all around. Thinking from the 90s, probably, maybe 80s. Looks like a good fish catcher. Not antique, not vintage, but hey, someday it'll be. All depends how old you are, right? A deep diver, like a hot and tot or a thin fin, but deep diver obviously. And let's see, thin fin wouldn't be right, would it? Hot and tot or rattle tot? Nope, solid. So maybe it's just a knockoff or something. But that's gonna catch a fish. I have seriously got crawdad, I guess you'd call it. Seriously got confidence in that color. So we'll catch fish on that. Put it in the 90s section. Oh, river runt. Now, he's been around longer than me too. A long time ago, 40s. River runt, 50s, 60s. Still we're making them. Hidden, tiny, go deeper. Right. Go deeper. Had to have that. Pretty cool. And they put a little wire on the front, I guess, so the line don't get cut on the side of that metal as it's wiggling around. But birch color. Gonna catch fish on that. River runt. We got a yeller hail bender. He had a couple of them. I was like, I gotta get one. He gave me a really good deal on it because I got 3 or 4 of them, same size. I don't know if it's ever been fished. Same with the other ones he had. But he's going fishing now. He put a little red on there. If you use magic marker, especially on these plastic ones, and you can always take it off with lighter fluid. Yeah, you want to take it off later. They made a lot of these lures. These are not worth a fortune. I guess there's special colors you can get, and but that crazy thing is going to catch a fish. You're like, no way. Yeah, well, I had an orange one, and I had a big pike on. Probably the only time I fished one. And he got off. But I had just caught a big pike on a bomber, so I wasn't too upset about it. That wacko thing, I just got to chuck it. I got to. Look at that. You hang that out there in the tackle store now. Who would buy it? Well, besides me. How could that possibly catch a fish? But they were serious. They sold a lot of those, like the bombers. That's from Whopper Stopper. Yeah, Whopper Stopper. Oh, Bomber did one called Water Dog. Very similar, but on the get it back out. Whopper Stopper, Hellbender, looks like a heart shape. Water Dog from Bomber, just round it off. No heart shape. That's how you tell the difference. Because they too did not write it on here. Whopper Stopper with. This guy. Now, I got some of these before, but he had several of these, and I'm a sucker for this frog color. And of course, got yellow and red on the back. Articulated tail. This is Brooks Reefer. No, not that kind of reef. For running the reef in the water. Kind of like lazy Ike action. There. Brooks Reefer. Actually says it on that one. Let's see if I can get that in there. Yeah. Brooks Reefer. Go. Just kind of a slow wiggler. Not a fast mover. But sometimes that's what works. So we're going to catch a fish on that. And I got a couple more. A couple different colors. Cool deal. So I like to collect them and fish them. Yeah, of course, you watch my shows, you know that already. Alright, so we got here. Oh, hey, you gotta get you a hula popper. Gave me that one really cheap because he's missing his skirt. He's a little beat. They kind of look like a baby bass. I'm like, alright, I'll spring for that. A couple bucks. He had a higher price on it, but I pointing out, well, it's missing the skirt. And muffed up on one side, I think from the factory, actually. Well, could have been the tackle box. They had a worm sitting there, plastic worm with oil on it. Probably something like that. You just cast it out, leave it sit there, don't even move it. And give it a bloop, give it a pop, like fishing a popper on a fly rod on it. Bigger. And another Fred Arbogast hula popper. Hula popper. You read that. Yeah, y'all know what it is. Everybody knows the hula popper. What else we got? Ooh, look at this dude. Check that out. What the heck? Ooh, this is from Hidden Crawl Shrimp. I think the letters on that are really blurred. Crawl Shrimp from Hidden. So, pretty dang cool. Crawl Shrimp. Gotta love it. And go fish that. That also has a wire on it. I'm not sure why there's no metal lip there, so maybe they had a different reason for that. And it's just too dang cool looking. Just a crazy looking deal in it. Gonna catch fish. Why? I don't know. They certainly ain't seen one before. At least where I fish. Crawl Shrimp. Of course, that's unless one of you chimes in the comments and it's like, don't fish that. I'd never seen one before, so we're gonna find out. But it's from Hidden. Hidden made a lot of stuff. Cool stuff. Pretty dang cool. Alrighty. Put that down. Had to plug it in. Was letting me know that it was on battery saver. Cut out. You think I'd know to charge it before I tried to do a show. Yeah, this one, I don't think this is really old. Not quite sure who made that. Kind of looks like a bomber. One of them long ones. But I'm not quite sure the way that fin's painted on the side like that. Cool color. Suspending Thunderstick. He threw that in at the end. Saw me looking at it. He said, well, you bought a lot. Got sparkles in it. I don't know if you can see that. Suspending Thunderstick. It's going to sound impressive when I catch fish. I am. Some fish is going to chomp that sucker later. Look at those crazy colors. It doesn't say who's they're from. But, maybe bomber? If you know, let me know. We'll all know. Other people can read it in the comments. Suspending Thunderstick. Cool name. Thunderstick. I think it'd be a lot bigger, doesn't it? Another river runt. I had some bigger ones, but I don't have these little tiny guys, so the orange and yellow. Yeah, I would say that's orange and yellow. And that is a Hidden tiny runt. It's just regular. The other one was a go deeper. That big lip on it. This one just has regular lip on it. Go. Fish them different depths. That's gonna catch me a fish, and they've been around a long time. I got, even my dad had one. He wasn't even a lure fisherman. I don't know where he got it from, but I'm afraid to fish it because I don't care. I won't be as upset if I lose this one. And another one. Purple color. Same thing. Pretty sure. Hidden tiny runt. Hidden tiny runt. Pretty dang cool. Oh, these lures just make you laugh looking at them. Look at that. Like a cartoon. But these work. I mean, they sold a lot of these things. You get decent price on these usually, unless there's some kind of hard to find color, custom colors, that kind of thing. But perch, I'll catch fish on that. I love fishing perch. This guy, I do not know what it is or who made it, and I can't seem to find it anywhere. If you know, let me know. A lot like that reefer, but it ain't. Something different. Articulated in the back there, swivel. Yellow and red with black dots. That's gonna catch a fish. No doubt in my mind. And that's good things to get, you know. Somebody was going by. I'm in my camper, as you can see. On location. Down here in Florida. And, somebody's going by making crazy noises, so. If you know what this is, let me know. I sure would like to know. I mean, it's not super important, but I'd like to know. So does everybody else. You read it in the comments. Chime right in. I definitely don't know everything. This, maybe just a knockoff of a lazy ike or a flatfish. Oh, that was cool. It's kind of like plastic that they mixed the yellow and the red together, stirred it together, and then in the mold, and boom, hardened. Yellow and red, you know they do good with that. Looks like it's bleeding. Boom. Somebody's gonna nail that. But it's not an official fancy lure. Nothing on it. And it has another hole there, like you could put a hook, but as far as I could tell, no, there was never a hook in there. And he had, I don't know, maybe 4 of them. Just grab me one. It was a buck. You know, when you're at these flea markets, yard sales, don't be afraid to talk to the guy. You know, especially if you're buying a bunch of them, like I did. He's like, make a pile. Glad to oblige you. This one is a lazy ike. Yeah, been around forever. What they're copying that other thing off of. Let's see here. Can't say the name. Lazy ike. I think that's the family's name, the first one. And then lazy ike number 3. And of course, yellow perch. Got a lot of confidence in yellow perch. Lots of yellow perch where I fish. Back home, Pennsylvania, up in Canada. Lots of places I go. That's what the game fish are after. I'm gonna bite that. This company's been around a long time. Wish I knew how to pronounce it. Don't know. I would say, if you know, put it in the comments, but you would just be writing that out, wouldn't you? Pretty dang cool. Gonna catch us some fish. We got flatfish. Now I have some flatfish. You can still buy flatfish, like the jitterbugs, that kind of stuff, hula poppers. You can still buy flatfish. It's plastic. U20. U20. And, neat with the stripes and the chartreuse and white. Maybe I put a little orange on there with a marker. But got that swivel tail, articulated tail. That's gonna catch me some fish. Nice, slow, back and forth. Pretty sweet. Gonna catch fish on that. Flatfish, another one that's been around forever, longer than me. Lazy hike, flatfish. Yep, jitterbugs, all that stuff. We're around. I remember looking at all this stuff when I was a kid. People's tackle boxes. My dad was a bait fisherman, so we didn't have his stuff, but other people did. I'd be like, what is that? Another bomber. Love the color. Guy gave me a great deal on it. Yeah, once people know you know something, and you're going to buy a bunch off them, you know, they're willing to work with you, and I mean seriously work with you. I mean, he knocked the prices down one by one, and then he knocked something off of the whole pile. So you can't beat that. Pretty sweet deal. Bomber. Is that got a round one? Yeah, this one's got a round. Alright. Love that color. Orange, black, and brown. Crawdad, I guess you'd say. That's gonna catch some fish. Like I said, down they go. I mean, they go deep. And he was telling me, you know, I bought those bombers, and he just went right in. Of course, he's a fisherman too. So he went right in talking about fishing. And he bought some muskies off a guy he used to know. His family. The guy died. Mounted muskies to resell. And he bought some muskies off of him. And he remembered talking to this man, you know, back in the day. And this was one of his muskie secrets. The bomber. This goes down deep. And then muskies, they've been around a long time if they get big enough to be mountable. That's a monster, right? And this is one of his secrets. Caught a lot of his big muskies on a bomber. Even when they went out of style. Because we get deep, fish ain't seen it before, down there, and all of a sudden it just bloop. Pretty cool. And I did pretty well with these. Like I said, you can look that up on my channel. Couple shows there, a couple of them. One of them's got a thumbnail with just one bomber called Great Big Old Pike on it. Another one's got probably 6 bombers, and I probably caught, between me and Jason, maybe 10 fish on a bomber. And it was a tough morning. Jason was struggling. And I was working these bombers, and I was doing good. So don't dismiss these crazy looking lures just because. Now I got 2 lures, right? That's a crazy look. Don't dismiss that. And this guy, same thing. Don't dismiss it just because. What the heck? Why would they buy that? This one looks like it's going backwards. But they do. Fish really ain't all that bright. They can be squirrely sometimes and be very fussy about what they want in any given day. But, so that was my finds on day 1 down here in Florida at the Flywheelers Fleamarket and Tractor and Engine Show, Antique Tractor and Engine Show, and pretty cool. They had a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool demonstrations. It's just a neat day, as you could see. I did 2 videos on that, and I thought I'd show you the lures. So thanks for coming along. And if you're ever down in the lower end of Florida, check out the Flywheelers. They do, I think it's in November, and they got something in December, and then January, and then we're here in February. And pretty like got a whole village set up there. All kinds of cool stuff. Gotta check it out. If you're into old school, everything's old school. Seriously cool. So, thanks for coming along. You folks have a great day. If you get a chance, give us a like and a subscribe. And comment if you could, especially helping to identify some of these things. Because, hey, you're looking. If you don't have a reference to Google it or search for it or look it up in a book, you just don't know. You gotta sit there flipping through the book, trying to find something close. You don't know. And some of them, like that one from the 90s or 80s or something. Who the heck made that? I don't know. But that's pretty cool. You can go both ways. I love this stuff. I really do. This could be so exciting to catch a fish on this. And I'm gonna. Stay tuned. You folks have a great day. Thank you so much. Alright, here's another look at my stuff, folks. Awesome stuff. Lots of old school gold. Lots of fishing history here. You folks have a great day. Thank you so much.